That's what I've seen. The end of season two, and I've enjoyed it. So congratulations on getting through another season.
Thank you.
It's a very intense show.
We
My
try. We try to make it intense and exciting, you know.
yeah. My first question for you is, going to this back half, there's a little bit more Omni-Man, and he, did a lot in season one that's a little hard to get over. So how did you guys approach, telling his story and trying to get audiences on board with someone who's, very much not easy to get on board with?
That's a really good question. And I love that you asked that. I mean, we want to make sure that everything in season one matters. Everything he did in season one matters, and it matters to our characters, and it matters to the world, and it matters to him as Nolan starts to realize that, he has feelings. He's not just a Viltrumite anymore. He's at least partially human from having lived with Debbie on, Earth for 20 years. And he's starting to realize that that maybe what he did there was not great, was kind of wrong, and it's starting to drag on his psyche. And I think we just want to show you that we want to explore that, and show you that maybe, is there a way back? I mean, that's a question I think all of our audience can ask themselves as they watch it. But we want to show you that he's a complicated person. He's more than just a mass murderer. Even, though he did some terrible things, he's feeling bad about that. And we want to explore that. Can you rehabilitate someone from that kind of situation? I don't know. I think that's going to be a question for our audience, but we're going to get into that pretty deeply, I think.
I think they should go on a t-shirt, more than just a mass murderer.
More than just a mass murderer. He's much more than.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, many fans have reacted rather harshly to the break between the halfway point
Yeah.
in the season. Have you seen those reactions?
I'm aware of them,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Could you elaborate on maybe why the decision, why you guys felt like it was a good idea to put out the season as you have?
So, I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into scheduling any television series, whether it's on a network, regular network television, or on a streamer, and at some point during our production, in a discussion with Amazon and obviously lots of our partners in the show, and when I say we, I mean, like, ultimately it's not just my decision, it's actually not really my decision at all. It's a discussion between everybody together, that this was the best way to get the show out to the fans, given the circumstances about how the show was coming, like production, other shows that were coming out at the same time. We just thought this was the best possible way to get it to the fans. And, I hope, I hope people still like the show, but yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into these decisions.
I always thought, seeing some of the reactions, I thought it was like, I understand maybe being upset, but there are people like, oh, I'm gonna stop watching. And I'm like, that's weird. Don't do that.
I mean, I
Yeah.
hope not. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
I would certainly keep watching. Do you think future seasons might be safe from that same break, or is it something that may still come up, just depending on how a season goes?
It's not something again, it's like it's a question about what else is happening, on a streamer at that same time when you're trying to release things. Again, 100 other factors. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again, personally. It's not something I think anybody wants to do, but sometimes it's something that happens. So I can't promise you, but like,
Yeah.
obviously, we just want to deliver the show in the best possible way for the fans to enjoy as quickly as possible. But production takes time and things happen, and yeah, everyone on the show is, honestly, no one wants to hold the show back. Everyone is doing their best work. We have a massive crew of like 200 to 300 people who are all working their butts off trying to make the show as good as possible and as fast as possible. Yeah, that's the team. And sometimes things happen.
For this back half, what were the main things that you guys really wanted to achieve, narratively speaking? What were your tentpole?
Wow, that's a really good question. I mean, obviously, there's the standard ones, is we want to make an exciting, dramatic, emotional show. We wanted to build to a really big conclusion. Season one ends with such a bang. We always want to try to not one up it, but we want to try to build the show. We want to try to give you something you haven't seen before that is just as hard hitting, just as emotional, but maybe isn't exactly the same as a previous season. So one of our goals was to just, like, yeah, we want to make you feel something. We want to make you, attached to our characters. We want to take things away from you and then maybe give them back, in a different way. So that's the kind of the crafting of the story side of it. We wanted to progress our characters. We want Mark should be different at the end of every season than he was at the start, and than he was at the end of the season before. So all our characters need to evolve. So that's something we work really hard on, is being like, Rexplode in episode 1 of season 2? Where is he in episode 8? And he should be a slightly different person, or in some cases, with some characters, a vastly different person based on the experiences they go through. So we want to make sure the series always feels like it's evolving, it's moving forwards. We don't want to do any churn. We never come back to the same place. So forward progress and momentum is important to us.
For season 3, what are you most excited to explore as the story progresses? Like, in terms of what's next, what are you most excited to get working on?
Well, the thing about our show that excites me the most, and one of the reasons that I loved, coming on even season 1, was that Invincible, it starts here and it ends here, and it ends 144 issues later, and everything sort of progresses along. We never reset. We never go back. It's never like, well, that happened last year. What's our adventure for this year? So season 3, half the fun of season 3 is like, oh my God, we have to deal with all the stuff that happened in season 2 and all the ramifications of that, all the reverberations of that, all the trauma from that. And how does that change our characters going forwards? How does that change Mark? How does it change Debbie, Rexplode, Ray, all of our characters? So that's really fun, because we have these new challenges for our characters in season 3, but then we also look back and be like, yeah, but this happened to, so-and-so back in episode like 206. Like, they're going to have feelings about that now because they've already been through this thing. So it's like, how do we keep all the previous seasons still relevant and in our minds and in our characters' minds when we go forward? So that's super fun and exciting. And then it's also like, we want our characters to keep on evolving. We want our world to keep on evolving. We want things to change, but still feel, real. So, all of that, like, that stuff is, it's great. We have a great writer's room. We all sit down, we all go through all that stuff. We talk about, how that would change our characters, like how they would feel differently. And then of course we still want to make it a big, exciting superhero show. So it's like blending all that stuff together is hopefully what gets us a really great season.
How bad is the wait going to be? Do we still have, is it going to be 2 years?
It's so, well, I think obviously everyone, like, Amazon picked up 2 and 3 together.
Yeah.
So we are deep in season 3 at this point. So I can't tell you what the wait will be, but I can tell you it will not be the same wait between 1 and 2. We
That's
are,
good. That's good.
yeah, we're well in progress on season 3, and it's coming along great.
Well, I am very excited to see the story continue, and for everyone else to get to finish season 2. Thank you again for talking with me. I hope you have
Yeah.
a great weekend.
Yeah. Thanks, Russ. Great to meet you. Great to chat. And thanks for loving the show.